copy for you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll have to you take some still shots of this. Uh-oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
We gotta get him to the hospital ASAP.
We're surprised you're even alive.
Yeah, we draw the line of mouth to mouth, though, man.
Yeah,
we'll do chest compressions right after that. We'll have to get a nurse from mouth to mouth. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so if we kind of, you know, the first thing that we're looking at here is called the C-reactive protein. Okay. Comma cardiac. So this is a marker for smoldering inflammation in the body. Okay. Another term is sometimes they call this is highly sensitive C-reactive protein, right? So it's released from the lining of the blood vessels. So if there's been damage to the lining of the blood vessels, then this marker will go up. The key to this marker, in quoting a study that was published in the, you know, the journal, New England Journal of Medicine, which is kind of our Bible, you know, in medicine, back in 1999 stated that this is a better test than cholesterol.
Okay, yeah.
At assessing, you know, future cardiovascular risk. Because when it comes to cholesterol and those type of things, basically all we're doing is assessing risks.
Gotcha.
Are you low risk? Are you high risk? You know, we can't really predict any type of event. We're just kind of going, where are we at on this spectrum? And then our quest in the world of clean living and wellness is to keep people in low risk categories, right? Yeah. And then if we implement therapies to try to do it in a way so that we're not increasing risks over just the general population, and you know, and so, because unfortunately, because we have a Y chromosome, we're at a higher risk for heart disease. But we can minimize that and neutralize it through clean living and eating gluten-free pretzels. No. So exactly. And so, but the bottom, that was a long explanation to say that your test is awesome. Okay, I mean,
good to know.
Less than one is fabulous. Anything, you know, less than 3 is, you know, is great, but less than 1 is really, really good.
So 0.24.
Yeah, this is a great test though, because it'll be fascinating, because oftentimes when we change lifestyles and we change, you know, dietary habits, you see these inflammatory markers rise. Okay. You know, and that's a huge risk factor. So if someone had normal cholesterol but high inflammation, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Moderately elevated cholesterol but low inflammation, you've got some room to work with there.
Okay.
You know.
That's good to know. Yeah, I think that'll be good for a lot of my followers who, you know, go by just your cholesterol. And, you know, if they're good, then they're good, but this is great to...
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is where it gets interesting too, because why isn't this test marketed better? I mean, because it really is a better indicator for risks, but yet it's not done routinely. Say, like if you go to a corporate wellness, you know, it's always cholesterol. Because
that's a good question.
The remedy for this, lifestyle.
Gotcha.
There's no multi-billion-dollar drug market for a highly sensitive C-reactive protein, but there is for cholesterol. Yeah, there's a big market. So we market cholesterol because there's actually something that we can do pharmacologically, you know, with that to say, okay, you got elevated cholesterol, let me give you this cholesterol lowering medication.
Interesting.
This one is, no, let's improve your life.
Yeah, which people don't want to hear.
No.
Just give me a pill.
Exactly, and let me kind of do what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Don't take away,
Is it more expensive than your...
No.
Okay. So
very inexpensive test. You know, so a diet rich in, you know, antioxidants and colorful fruits and vegetables very much can lower this, the omega-3s, these type of things. Exercise, you know, all that will lower a C-reactive protein.
Okay.
But, okay, so the next panel is the amino acid profile.
Gotcha. Okay.
And basically what we're looking at here are, again, just a plethora of all the different types of amino acids that are circulating in the body. As you can see, one of those flagged a little bit high that day.
Taurine.
Yeah, but that's typically in supplements.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So if you're taking supplements.
Yeah, so we're taking some pre-workout stuff or something like that, there's going to be some taurine. Taurine, very popular supplement in the world, you know, with vitamin Bs, and it's in pre-workout, like I said. It's in Red Bulls, it's in, you know, it's in a lot of stuff because it's been shown to help energy levels and maximize performance, right? Okay. So again, that's not a seriously elevated level by any means, but that's why it flagged.
Okay.
And then the rest of these are just, this is a good baseline to say, okay, this is where we're at. And then it'll be nice to kind of look at it and say, did it change, in any negative way?
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Okay. So if we kind of flip the page, again, these are more of your fun amino acids, So there's glutamines and tyrosines and lysine and tryptophans and GABA. I mean, all these amino acids. Yeah. What they really use this test for in the world of medicine, I mean, at least LabCorp, it's really to see if people lack the ability, have some sort of metabolic problem where they can't process these amino acids.
Oh, okay.
I use it for a wellness type screen.
Okay.
See where they're at. And in the world of mood too, because oftentimes you see people lacking, certain amino acids that help with the mood.
Okay.
But yours looks good. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So if we flip into this next page on 3 of 8, then this is where we start to get into some more of the routine tests, like blood sugar or glucose as we call it. Now, granted, 89, that's a great level.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's a snapshot. That's the Polaroid.
Yeah.
Boom, what was your sugar at that second of that day?
Yeah.
But still, to catch it randomly at 89, that's great.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll take it.
Yep, exactly. And as we drop down, all these fancy words to the left are telling me about kidney function.
Okay.
Gets into your electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and chloride and so on. And then it gets into proteins in the blood as well as eventually liver function, which was predominantly this AST, ALT, and then there's a general screen for cholesterol. So it just gave us a total cholesterol and triglycerides, which, as you know, is a storage form of fat that we make coming from dietary choices, predominantly sugar.
Yeah. Yep.
And in America, we're really good at storing our triglycerides. And
storage everybody wants.
Okay, and then here's thyroid function. We did 3 thyroid tests. One is the marker TSH.
Okay.
That's from the pituitary to the thyroid gland.
Okay.
So its job is to say, hey, gland, make some hormones.
Okay.
And then the gland will crank out, a few different hormones. The most important one is what we call thyroid hormone 3 or T3.
Okay.
And 3.2, not bad. Okay.
You want it higher or lower?
We'd like to see that a little bit higher. To me, anytime in the hormone world, you want to be on that upper end of the scale.
Okay.
You want to be in that optimal range, right? And
how can that be improved?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle. So I gotta get healthier.
Because the thyroid's a very sensitive gland in the body. It's shaped like a butterfly. Sits right both sides of your windpipe right here. Plays a very important role in metabolism, energy production. Body thermostat, hair growth, nail growth, bowel function, mood, clarity of thought. The list kind of goes on, nail growth and so on. And so very important hormone. It's common nowadays that we see thyroids that are sluggish, not necessarily shut down, but sluggish, because then that's a sluggish metabolism.
Yeah.
Downside, we have our normal ranges, and if you're in that normal range, we just kind of go, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like fine. We like optimal again. So, but nonetheless, 3.2, not bad. Could be a little bit better, but not bad. Okay. And then that's where that T4 is another one of the thyroid hormones there, and 1.46 is fine. That's a good level. Okay. This is part of the panel.
Yeah.
This is the prostate test, the PSA.
Okay.
You're young for that, but it does give us information. 0.9, great.
Okay.
Great level. Okay.
Cool.
And then here comes a couple interesting hormones, right?
Yeah.
Number 1, insulin-like growth factor 1. This is IGF-1.
Gotcha, yes.
Okay, you'll see that in readings. This is a friend. Okay, we like IGF-1.
Yes.
Because it's a breakdown product of human growth hormone.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and human growth hormone breaks down to a lot of things, but this is one of the main, metabolites of it. And so there's a direct correlation between the more IGF-1 I have in my body, the better my HGH or human growth hormone production, which we know is kind of the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason we run this, because it gives us information, number 1, to help us understand how's my production of human growth hormone, because it'll drop when there's stressors in the body, or if there's inflammation, or poor lifestyle choices accelerates the decline of growth hormone production, which can accelerate the aging process.
Okay.
So literally, if you see people that are your same age, but yet they look 10 to 15 years older,
yeah,
poor lifestyle choices is accelerating their aging process.
Interesting.
So to have a 254, that's awesome.
So that's good.
Yeah,
so
those are some good choices. You're making some good choices, and exercise,
Yeah.
huge in raising that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there is. I mean, I have been taking a pituitary gland product. It's amino acid based, and you take it at night on an empty stomach, and it increases your own production of human growth hormone. So it's not synthetic being injected into my body, but it's
correct.
It's an amino
so it's working
acids.
upstream,
Exactly.
which is a good way to do it.
So this is good though, because you don't know with supplements if something's working, and this is like my first test.
Right.
And that's what I mean. Yes, my lifestyle is good, but I'm
well. There's a few variables in there. Like you were saying, lifestyle's good.
Yep.
Exercise consistently.
Yeah.
Is going to help you produce growth, but those amino acids can't.
Okay.
And in my opinion, though, I've seen it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes they work pretty well. Sometimes they do a little bit. Sometimes they don't do much.
Exactly.
It kind of depends on the quality of the product. What I haven't seen is over-the-counter growth hormone enhancers don't really do much.
Exactly.
But the amino acids can help.
Yep.
And so that's your glutamines, your arginines, and some of the other branched-chain amino acids at bedtime can actually help that. But probably the biggest influencer in raising this, lifestyle. I mean, just exercise.
I agree 100%. I don't expect people to take it and not exercise and expect these awesome results like you would get with synthetics,
Right.
But that's really interesting.
So that's kudos.
I'm going to stop taking it during these next 2 months and see what happens. I am still exercising 3 days a week.
Okay.
Throughout the entire journey, so we'll see with that and testosterone how things change. So I'm interested.
Yeah, which brings us into the testosterone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's two tests.
Yeah.
There's testosterone serum. Some people call this total testosterone. Most men, when they're talking about their testosterone levels, this is the one they refer to.
Okay. Yeah.
This one's bound to a protein in the blood, though. So it's kind of cruising through the bloodstream attached.
Okay.
When it arrives at the destination, say a muscle cell, then it detaches. You're looking pretty good at almost 600, right?
Yeah.
With the upper range being close to 1200.
Yeah.
Now DHEA is a hormone that comes from the adrenal
gland,
predominantly, right?
Yeah.
Phenomenal hormone. If you remember back in the 80s, well, he might be young for this, us old guys, right? So they, but it was kind of being touted as the fountain of youth because, over-the-counter supplement companies were like, this is it, because they found that it declines as we age.
Yeah.
And DHEA kind of plays a role in a lot of different areas of the body. I mean, it plays a role in hormonal balancing, plays a role in immune system function. Many years ago, DHEA was being studied in the world of autoimmune diseases, and actually was used quite extensively in the world of lupus. High doses of DHEA. And then other drugs came along, and so it kind of fell by the wayside, right? But still, so DHEA, I mean, brain function, kind of battles cortisol levels in the body. I mean, it's a player, right?
Yeah.
So 253, not bad, but you can see you could almost double that and still be in a good
I know
range.
my wife takes a DHEA supplement. She had low levels, and so she takes this nasty stuff, this liquid. Oh yeah, no, that's her
DHEA.
adrenal support.
Yeah.
The DHEA is pills. Keto 7.
Oh, the 7 keto is a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, that's what she takes, and she takes adrenal gland support stuff.
Yeah, which is smart. And so and some people DHEA, great. I mean, it's a great little supplement. You can buy that at the health food store.
Okay. Helps regulate stress too, right? Okay.
Yeah, good little hormone. Helps sensitize insulin. Helps burn fat through the belly. I mean, it's a good one. So it'll be interesting to see how that does.
Okay.
On your journey. And then here comes CBC, which is kind of a routine, complete blood count, as we call it. It's looking at your white blood cells, red blood cells, all the subcomponents to each. Make sure that you're producing those in an appropriate amount, those look great. Okay.
That's good there.
Yeah. So and that's what this next page is again those subcomponents to your white blood cells. Now right underneath that there's a test called the hemoglobin A1C.
Yes.
Okay, that's the diabetic marker. So anything below 5.7 we like.
Yeah.
If you're around 5.7 to 6.4, you're considered pre-diabetic.
Wow.
If you get above 6.4, you're into the diabetic range. Basically, this test is a percentage. So this is your level at 5.2%.
Yeah.
You know, is excellent.
Okay.
The closer to 5, the better. We want to get as far away from 5.7 as we can.
Yep.
Basically, what this tells me is that the hormone insulin is functioning properly.
Yeah.
But in order for that to function properly in the body, that's lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that we can do, you know, to create a condition called insulin resistance, which is epidemic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
In the United States. So.
Yeah.
Gluten-free pretzels help this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You better have another.
So I get 5.0. 5.0.
So, anyways. And then we tested the insulin just to say, okay, how are you producing insulin?
Okay.
You know, without much food in your system, those numbers are right where they should be. Okay. Now here comes our fancy dancy cholesterol profile, where this is great because this takes it beyond just total cholesterol, you know, and triglycerides, and it takes it way beyond just good and bad cholesterol, which gives you information. But there was a study a couple years ago that showed a bigger player in assessing risks or understanding the cholesterol within the body is not only the cholesterol itself, but the particles that carry the cholesterol. So the analogy is much like an interstate. You know, if we have bigger vehicles and we're carpooling, there's a lot less chance, you know, of a traffic jam because there's less vehicles on the road, right? If we're all in our little tiny, you know, smart cars, then there's a bigger chance of bottlenecking. Yeah. And the same thing goes in the world of cholesterol particles. So if we have bigger particles, okay, that carry more cholesterol, lower risk. Lower risk. If we have smaller particles, higher risk.
Okay.
Okay?
Makes sense.
So that's what each of these little tests kind of means. So the first one that they print up is called LDL-P. LDLs are bad cholesterol, right? The P is the number of particles. So how many particles of LDL do I have? Remember, you don't want a lot of these, but the biggest player is how big are they? Yeah. Or how little are they, right? And so 470, that's awesome. That puts you in a very low risk.
Good. Okay.
I mean, that's one of the lowest I've seen, so good job.
Cool. That's good to know. And
then on the next page, it does give us the information about the cholesterol. So that's what the -C means. That's the cholesterol itself. So LDL-C at 48, awesome.
Okay, cool.
Cholesterol is not the alligator in the pond that's going to mess with you. But still, these are good numbers. And then there's your HDL. Anything above 40 we love.
Wow. That's the highest it's ever been. For
63 is awesome.
Usually mine's in like the mid-40s.
Yeah, that's clean living right there.
Yeah, wow. That's
so good job.
Cool.
And then there's triglycerides, total cholesterol. This is another interesting side bit though. So the same researchers that kind of discovered the particles and you know kind of studied this extensively and helped us understand and helped us develop this test, also went in to say, okay, well if small particles are the most evil, what dietary choices increase the production of small particles?
Yeah.
Sugar.
Sugar does.
Not fat.
Interesting.
So as we know, healthy fats don't mess with us, right?
Yes.
But unfortunately, there's still that thought process out there. Fats.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And so,
it's from the 80s, right?
It is.
The 80s messed everyone
up. It is. It did. That whole low fat,
no cholesterol.
Yeah. Yeah. Fat-free, sugar-free, it's like you run from that stuff. Yeah. But unfortunately, you know, and so sugar converts into the small particles, and so that's a problem.
Yeah.
And of course on yours obviously great. And so your average LDL particle is 21, so anything above 20 we like.
Okay.
So this puts you in a very low risk category for cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer in the United States.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's scary. Okay.
So again, the size of the particle matters.
Yeah.
So this is the first test that proves size matters. You're going to have to edit that. Okay, so
that's
anyway.
going on there. That's going on there. That's funny. Size does matter.
In the world of cholesterol. Yeah, let's add that in there. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Now on the next page, this is another component of this panel that gives us great information because it's an insulin resistance score.
Okay.
And again, as we mentioned, that's epidemic in the United States because of poor food choices and the amount of sugar that we consume on a daily basis. And so, again, less than 25, phenomenal.
Okay.
They're not even detecting any insulin resistance.
Good.
Okay?
I don't want insulin
No, you don't. So that's awesome. This test here, though, is not as popular as the A1C.
Okay.
The A1C we've had longer.
Gotcha.
I haven't always seen a direct correlation between the two. I still put more value in the A1C than I do on this because this is relatively new to me.
Okay.
But still, nonetheless, you're 5.2 in the A1C, you know, in the world of prediabetes, and less than 25 means you're doing awesome.
Okay.
And then here's troponin, as we measured, another indicator on how that heart's doing and so on, as well as the term homocysteine, and both of those levels are great.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Sedimentation rate, or that's just another inflammatory marker. It doesn't really tell us where it's coming from. It just says, is there inflammation in the system? It's a little different test than the C-reactive protein, you know, highly sensitive one, or the cardiac one we did on the first page.
Yeah.
So I like to run both because it gives you different angles of inflammation in the body, you know, different information. And so, and your level at 2 is great.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll change.
Vitamin D, you get a gold star and a smiley face, okay? Because 97, that's a phenomenal.
Hey, like
level.
I said, I was going to be good in vitamin D. I went to Hawaii right before, so my vitamin D level should be good.
That is the best way to raise your vitamin D.
Just go to Hawaii. It's a new supplement. Here's a
we just can't get that pre-authorized by insurances, man. They won't cover it.
Oh,
but that is the best way. So we have to resort to a capsule, Daniel.
Okay.
So
that's good.
So 97 is phenomenal.
That's good.
I mean, as you know, that there's probably a month doesn't go by that we don't see another vitamin D, you know, study demonstrating the benefits, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this last panel that we did down here at the bottom called IgG allergens, this is a screen of about 9 different types of foods that are measuring antibodies against these foods.
Okay.
Okay. The higher the antibody, the more irritating that food is to my system. But these would not be food allergies. So these wouldn't cause your throat to swell or give you hives or an immediate reaction. These are more what we use the term intolerance or sensitivities.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so these are things that can kind of pick on us, smoldering, but they don't always present as intestinal problems. I mean, they can. But they can show up in other areas, skin issues, sometimes mood issues for some people, joint issues, you know, and the list kind of goes on how this can affect the body, because the higher the number, then again, like I stated, more irritating to the immune system. It's kind of creating that hostile environment inside the body, right? So, I mean, so that, you know, we looked at some antibodies. That's why it says IgG, that's the antibody, to wheat. So less than 2 is normal.
Okay. Mine's 20.
Yeah, so that would be elevated.
Wow. So does that mean, can you technically say I'm gluten intolerant?
Well, that's a good question.
Intolerant? Is it wheat intolerant?
Not severe.
Okay.
Mild.
Mild. Okay.
So
you're saying it's gluten-free will help with that?
It's supposed to. We're going to see.
We'll see. I got to keep eating then.
Now, if you get inflamed, then we didn't help you much, did we?
Exactly. I might have cured that one.
And so, but if you turn the page, this is where it gets into a couple other foods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I've never seen this test before.
Now, high, as you can see, there's a few.
Yeah.
He's pounding 1,000.
Basically, I'm intolerant to everything.
You can have water.
I got water. I'm not intolerant to water.
And if you want, you can squeeze lemon in it. Okay, so.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
And again, we can't screen every food.
Sure.
This is an up-and-coming diagnosis that we're hearing more and more about in medicine, that we refer to the term leaky gut. Okay?
Yep, heard of that.
Yeah, so it's kind of helping us understand that this is one of the causes of that age-old term called irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, right? The other term that we use sometimes in medicine is that it's increased intestinal permeability. So basically what it's saying is that there's microscopic perforations along the small intestine that's allowing undigested food particles to leak back into the body basically, and then irritating the immune system. This is where the body's brilliant though, because it uses an antibody, IgG, that is a temporary antibody. Oh. Meaning that, hey, if we fix this issue and improve, then these things will go away. Whereas the other type of antibody called IgG or IgE is a more of a permanent player. Okay. Once you have a peanut allergy, you're kind of stuck with that. Yeah. Right. And so in other words, if someone went to an allergist and got skin tested, you've heard of that type of testing before. Okay. That's looking at the antibody E. So these would probably all come back fine. Yeah.
I've never had, so I've never had like allergic reactions to, where someone with the E, if they have a peanut allergy, for example, then they would have some type of reaction. Okay.
Yeah, and so the point is though too, is that if you don't run the right antibodies, you'll miss. So it's a very specific test for these type of, antibodies towards these foods. So as you mentioned earlier, it would be an intolerance, not necessarily an allergy. So that's why I can eat it, and I don't have a lot of issues with it. Some of it too has to do with the health of the bowel. Yeah. So if the lining of the bowel is somewhat compromised because of exposures to maybe antibiotics in the past, or stressors, or surgeries, or lovely chemicals in our environment nowadays, through processed foods and so on, we get exposed to things that can damage our intestines on a microscopic level. Yeah. So for the most part, they're okay, but they're not great. And then we see this type of a picture, right? Yeah. This is kind of interesting, though.
So is there dairy on here, or would that be casein? Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
We should have. I thought I ordered whey, but they didn't put that in. Okay, whey, as you know, the other one, right? Yeah. That's an interesting one too. Most of us digest whey. Yeah. It's the casein, once it's been pasteurized, that oftentimes we struggle with. Okay. Right?
Yeah, I know. You've seen that too. I know I'm already lactose intolerant, even though I haven't seen one of these tests on it. Just from my reactions to dairy, I know I'm lactose intolerant.
See, I love that, because I don't care what a blood test says. If you eat it and it messes with you, don't eat it.
Exactly.
It's not rocket science.
Yes.
But as you know, some guys, they don't care. Oh man, that lit me up, and they just kind of keep eating the dang thing, And but as you know, lactose is the sugar in the milk. Yeah. Casein is the protein.
Exactly.
But see, in the world of exercise, casein is a very popular protein because of marketing.
Right. Yeah. Marketing is late night protein.
It's not the best protein.
Right. Yeah. It's a slow digesting one. So hey, I'm like, whatever.
And it's cheap. That's the real reason.
So anytime I see an article that loves casein and is telling about the wonders of casein, I always look to see who wrote the article and what are their financial interests. Because during the article, I get this in my nose where I'm like, bullshit, sorry, because it's just not true. Yeah. But yet, look how promoted it is.
That's true. I agree. So another one I'm looking at is chocolate cacao, for example. I didn't know.
Now, chocolate, anything less than 10, we don't get worked about. Okay. So you can have chocolate on your rice and with your water. So eggs you're actually okay with. Don't worry about eggs.
Okay, because I do eat a lot of eggs.
Well, eggs break down into a very small peptide, or protein in the body. And so if there's any permeability, they're just going to enter the bloodstream. So we don't get worked up with eggs unless they're really high.
Okay. Okay. No, that's good to know. It'll be interesting to see where I get back at the end, right? So in 2 months from now, I expect a lot of these to, get a little bit worse. Yeah. Which is kind of what I want to show.
And some of them might get better.
So they could, like the gluten one.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, everything's bad, but you're gluten. You're good. You haven't had any gluten, so.
Good point.
Yes. So we'll see.
And the cholesterol profile and insulin resistance score, all of that, in my opinion, is going to be fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be like your little guinea pig. Lab rat. All right, give them some gluten-free pretzels.
Right. But this type of extensive testing, very compelling, and will really help as you document your story to help people understand. Yeah. There's a difference between real clean living and marketed clean living.
Yeah. That's a good point.